Launch ArcMap and start with a new blank template. Add data from the USA Geodatabase in the USA folder in your MGIS data folder. Add the state's feature class. Open the attribute table by right-clicking States in the table of contents, then select Open Attribute Table from the context menu. The table window can be set to float or docked in the positions. To move the window, select the title bar and move to the desired location. I typically like floating or docked on the right-hand side with this auto hide function turned on. When you move your mouse over the icon, the table appears, and when you're finished with it, auto hide will move it out of your way. It's always a good idea to explore the attributes of your GIS data. Otherwise, you have no idea what you're working with. So take a look at the different fields and records. It is easy to sort attribute tables. Right-click on the state's name field and select Sort Ascending. Notice this places the states in alphabetical order from A to Z. If you select Descending, the table is sorted from Z to A. Now right-click on the POP 2010 field. Select Statistics. What is the mean or average population per state? It is 6,102,213. This statistical tool will be very helpful when you begin your work. We can ask questions or establish criteria where ArcMap will select records based on our query. To do that, pick on the Table Options tool and select By Attributes. The Select By Attributes dialog box is well designed and will help you prevent making typing mistakes. Take advantage of that interface. Again, it's always a good idea to read the dialog boxes starting at the top. The method is very important. The default is create a new selection, but you should review and remember the other options. In this case, we will create a new selection. Double-click the state name field. Notice it is moved down into the lower box. Next, pick the equals button. Then pick the Get Unique Values button. This will search the selected field and list all the values found in that field. Now double-click Arkansas from the list. Your query should be set and the only thing left is to pick OK or Apply button. This is a good time to look at the Show Selected Records option. This will only display the records that are selected, hiding all the others. We'll look at the Like operator next. Pick the Clear button in the Select by Attributes dialog box. Again, double-click the State Name field. This time, pick the Like button. press the spacebar once and type apostrophe, capital A, %, apostrophe. Pick the Apply button. How many states begin with A? There are 4. In some cases, you may need to remove records from a set of selected records. You can accomplish this by changing the selection method. Right now I have 4 states whose names start with the letter A selected. I want to remove any states that are in the Pacific subregion. In my Select by Attributes dialog box, pick the Clear button. Change the method to remove from current selection. Double-click the subregion field, pick the Equals button, pick the Get Unique Values button, and select Pacific from the list. Click the Apply, and Alaska is no longer selected. You see how that works? Another handy tool is the Switch selection. It simply reverses the current state. Records that are selected are unselected, and those who were not selected are selected. That button is on the Table Interface toolbar. You can hover over the icons to see the tooltips. Pick the Switch Selection button. Now 48 of the 51 state records are selected. Look through the selected records and pick on the Delaware record. It should turn yellow. Right-click on the gray pad to the left of the record and pick Zoom to. Your map will shift to display Delaware. Next, pick Hawaii and zoom to Hawaii. Now you see Hawaii. Think about this. I want to make Arkansas have a red color that will look different than all the other states. How can I accomplish this? One way is to create a new layer. I'm going to clear all the selected records by picking the Clear Selections tool. And I'm going to select by attributes, and I'm going to clear the query that's in the Select by Attributes dialog box with the Clear button. I will use a query to select Arkansas. You should have this down by now. If not, watch closely. Don't forget to change the method. I have selected Arkansas, and now I will zoom to Arkansas so that we can see it. Right-click on the state layer in the table of contents, expand the selection menu, and pick Create Layer from Selected Features. Now I can make Arkansas red. The selection layer is stored only in this map document. It didn't actually create a new GIS data file anywhere. Click on the state selection. Click on the state selection. And click once more to rename this new layer to Arkansas. Looking at the states table, pick the Select by Attributes. Make sure the method is Create New Selection. Double-click the POP 2010 field. Then click the greater than or equal to button and type 5 million. That's 5 with 6 zeros. Click Apply. You should have 22 records selected. Now let's use the AND operator. Without clearing your query, click the AND button, double-click the POP 2010 field, and click the less than or equal to button, and type 10 million. That's 10 with 6 zeros. Click Apply. You should now have 13 records selected. Clear your query by picking the Clear button. Now, let us find out how many states are in the Pacific and New England subregions. This will require using the OR operator. Double-click the subregion field, pick the Equals button, pick the Get Unique Values button, select Pacific, pick the OR button, double-click the subregion field, pick the Equal button, pick New England from the Unique Values list. It's important to notice the criterion statement is on both sides of the AND or OR operator. That's often overlooked. In many cases, the attributes stored are not related to your project and only adds to the confusion. In these cases, you can turn off the display of the fields you don't want to see. Double-click the States layer to access the properties, then pick on the Fields tab. From here, click on Turn All Fields Off button and use the checkboxes to turn on those you still want to see. For now, we should check State Name, Subregion, State Abbreviation, POP 2010, and POP 10 per square mile. Pick OK. And now open the States attribute table. You can see the difference. Now we can explore summarizing data. This means grouping the data to give you more options on how to map or analyze your data. Clear any selected records. If you have records selected, only those will be summarized. In this case, we want to know information about subregions. So let's right-click on the Subregions field, pick the Summarize, scroll down the list of fields, expand the POP 2010 and check the sum box. Check the sum box in the number of farms. Make note of where your table will be stored. You're actually creating a standalone table when you summarize. Browse to your OneDrive folder and set the Save As type to text. Give your file name Subregions. And pick OK. ArcMap will ask you if you'd like to add the new table to your map, and the answer is yes. Open the new subregions table and review it. You should see 9 records: a count, sum of population, and sum of farms field. As it is now, you can't make a map with this table. There are no spatial features. How can you use this standalone table? You must join it to state feature classes. It's important to understand the terminology regarding joins. The destination table is where you want the join information to end up, which should be the spatial data. In this case, the state's feature class. The source table is the data you're wanting to show or include. In this case, it's your summarized subregions table. Finally, you need to understand and specify a common join field. That is a field that will link the records from one table to another. Make sure you have both states and subregion tables open. By default, you can only see one table at a time, but you can change that. Pick on the Table Options menu. Select Arrange Tables and pick Arrange Tables horizontally. Now examine both tables carefully. It should become obvious what the join field should be. Have you found it yet? You should have noticed that the subregion field will be the only common join field. The states layer is the destination. So right-click on the states layer in the table of contents, pick Joins and Relates, then pick Join. Start at the top and read and work your way down this dialog box. Set the join field to the destination table, select the table subregions, and pick the source table to join field, which is also subregions. Note, it's not the same field name that makes this a join field, but the record values match across both tables and are used to bind the information together. Use the Keep All Records option and pick OK to finish the join. Now review the states table. At the end, the subregion information should be included. We can now create a map of subregion population or number of farms. Double-click the States layer and pick the Symbology tab. In the left-hand pane, select Quantities and Graduated Colors. Set the value to the number of farms field and pick OK. We may also want to label these states. So far you've made some basic labels. In this case, I'd like the state of abbreviation to be above the number of farms. So let's go to the States property and pick the Labels tab. Turn on the labels and pick the Expressions button. Clear the state name field from the expressions by selecting it and pressing the Delete key. Now double-click State Abbreviation field from the list. Type the AND symbol by holding the Shift and pressing the number 7. Now double-click the number of 07 farms field from the population join. Pick OK and OK to see the changes. It would be better if the number was on its own line, so we can adjust the label expression. On the Label tab of the State Properties, pick the Expression button. Click to place your cursor after the AND symbol and type VB new line with another AND symbol. This will force the label to go to the next line before adding the number. Pick OK and OK, and again to review the results. This looks pretty good, but the thousands separator would make it easier to read. We can adjust the field property for that. So on the Field tab of the States layer, pick on the Numbers 07 Farms field from the list of fields on the left. On the right hand in the number format, pick the ... button. Turn on the Show Thousands separator and remove any decimal places. Pick OK and OK to view the changes. With this knowledge, you should be able to use these tools to complete the Chapter 6 Part A assignment and Chapter 6 exercise. If you have any questions, give me a call or send me an email. Thanks.